Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I will be discussing the do's and don'ts of the H-2B program, so stay tuned. So guys, I want you to like this video. If you have not subscribed as yet, then hit that subscription button and just stay tuned for the video. Be sure to also leave your comment as well and let me know what you think. So first, we are going to start off with the do's about the H-2B program. So the first thing I want to touch on is do get to work on time. So even though we know that for most employers, they are responsible for your transportation. So what they will do is some of them, they will either have a shuttle to pick you up and take you from work, or like for my experience, in my case, what happened was that the employer or my direct supervisor or manager, they ensured they come pick us up for work and take us home in the evenings. So you want to ensure that you are punctual and you are ready for when they come to get you. You know, you don't want it to be a case where they come to get you and they have to be sitting in the car waiting like 15 to 30 minutes because you are not ready as yet. So ensure that you are punctual and you are ready for work. The next topic is to always treat your customers and or your guests with respect. So be respectful. So this goes for all the fields that you might be placed in as an H-2B worker, whether it be housekeeping, serving, front desk, any field that you might enter into within the H-2B category. Because a negative report or a negative complaint, or more than one, for example, if a customer complains about you to the employer more than once, it's happening frequently, then that can lead to you getting terminated. Because no employer wants different guests and multiple guests to be complaining about one specific individual. The next one I'll touch on is do practice or learn to articulate yourself. Being able to communicate English language, as we know most employers, the US is an English speaking country. So being able to communicate effectively using the English language, it is definitely a plus. Okay, so it also prevents any communication barriers that might be there, because you want to ensure that you can communicate with your colleagues, with customers and guests and your employer, as well as you want to ensure that you can be understood whenever you are speaking to someone. So the next one is be understanding and respectful to different cultures. Okay, everyone knows that everywhere you go, things are done differently, and persons do have different personalities and different cultures. So we need to understand and respect the fact that persons are from different cultures, and they share different opinions, and they are also from different upbringings or backgrounds. So persons might have different opinions and or views from you, and while communicating, you or expressing or sharing your views, you want to ensure that you are being respectful and you are not offending anyone else based on their culture or their background. So the next one is do work quickly and efficiently. So guys, in the interview, we do sell ourselves to the employers, letting them know that we can work in a fast-paced environment and we can do numerous tasks, or there is certain extent which we can work. Therefore, we don't want it to be a case where we are not displaying this that we mentioned in our interviews. Okay, so an employer will be expecting you to be up to par based on, what the job description is about and based on what was explained in the interview or during the interview process. So ensure that you can keep up. So an employer should not be hearing that from you were small, you had issues with your back or whatever the case may be, because you explained in your interview and you signed contracts and all of that stating that yes, you can do the work. So it should not be a case where you are complaining about doing this work when you have already made an agreement with the employer stating that you can take on a certain type of workload. Also, the next we'll move on to is do take care of your personal hygiene. All right, so we're working in fast-paced environment where even though some of the jobs may be back of house, for example housekeeping, but you do have some interaction with guests, and also you will be working with persons, your colleagues, and you want to ensure that you have good personal hygiene, right? So no one should be complaining that they cannot work around you or have a difficult time working around you and working with you because of your because of bad personal hygiene. So we want to ensure that we are taking care of our bodies and ensure that we are, bathing at least, the minimum at least once per day. Okay, to touch on hygiene and cleanliness as well, you want to ensure that whilst living with others, because we all know that it is a possibility, almost 100% possibility, that you will be sharing living spaces. So this would consist of the bedroom, the kitchen, and also bathrooms with the different persons. So you don't want it to be a case where someone is complaining that you are not flushing the toilet or you are cooking and the kitchen is left dirty, and also that the room that you will be sharing is not kept clean and tidy. Bear in mind also that some employers do perform inspections from time to time to check to ensure that everything is going smoothly. So, and guys, remember that you are sharing these with persons. So if you are gonna cook, right, and you know that you guys all share the utensils and everything, and if you're gonna go ahead and cook, you want to ensure that if you cook something, you either package what's left so that someone else don't leave the food that was cooked in the pots, because someone else might need to go and use the pots and everything. So be sure that we are being mindful of these situations and taking those things into consideration, and don't do unto someone what you would not want them to do unto you. Also, the next topic I'll touch on is ensure that you are taking care of your physical health. Okay, so I know some persons might travel with asthma or any form of ailments that can affect them from time to time. So ensure that you are taking your medications with you so that in case of an emergency, then you have something to tackle it with on the spot. Okay, so we want to ensure we're taking care of our physical health. So try to see how best you can exercise as well, because we are not in our home country and we are in a new environment, and you will be in this new environment for a good period of time. It can range anywhere from 6 to 9 or 10 months. So you want to ensure that you are prepared and that you are taking care of yourself physically. Ensure that you are eating regularly because you will be working a lot. So ensure while working a lot, yes, we need the money, but we want to ensure that we are taking care of ourselves during this time as well. So the next I'll touch on is be patient when dealing with guests or management or your colleagues, and also dress appropriately for work. Okay, so exercising patience is actually a very good skill that everyone should have or everyone should learn as you go along, because having patience would actually help, any situation that you might find yourself in. As well as dressing appropriately for work, we want to ensure that we are following the company's dress code policy and ensure that we are in line or aligned with the policies as it relates to the company. Okay, so that's it for my do's, and we are going to touch on don'ts. So for don'ts, the first I will touch on is, and I want you guys to bear this in mind, do not get a second job. Okay, so that is something that is very important for persons to note. It is not your right to get a second job. So yes, I know that persons have been doing second jobs, or persons might be doing second jobs, or you might find an employer that is totally fine with that. But bear in mind that it is illegal, because your H-2B visa stipulates that you can only work for that specific employer that has petitioned for you, or that employer that is on your documents. Okay, so on your H-2B visa, when you do get back that H-2B visa, then you will see on the visa the employer's name. Okay, so you can only work for that employer. So that is the rule that the H-2B visa states. So what I will advise for persons to do, you want to maximize on the amount of hours that you can get, as well as you want to reach out to your employer to let them know, when you get there, to let them know, hey, you're open to doing overtime, or if there's anything else additionally that you can do to pick up extra hours, you will be willing to do so. So take that approach, because it's not like the J1 work and travel program that you can have many jobs as you wish or as you like, right? So because this specific employer petitioned for us, then we are only able to work for them. The next don't I will touch on is don't complain too much. And the reason why I say this is because a lot of persons get to the United States with high expectations. So they get to the States with high expectations, and when these expectations are not met, then they complain about the employer, and it can throw off everything for you. When you have a certain expectation and then when you go, it's something different. So what I tell persons is to go with an open mind, the willingness to adapt to different situations or environment, and the ability to coexist with different types of people. You cannot expect too much, or expect every employer you come in contact with, or every employer you may go with, or if it's your first time, based on experiences you've heard of, you cannot expect every employer to be the same and do things the same. So everyone does things differently. So always bear that in mind, that and also because of different cultures as well, and remember, different states, so everything is different. So yes, we know it is important to know your right as an H-2B worker, but you cannot go expecting too much, and because that expectation isn't met, then it causes you to be complaining and all of that. Okay, so you just want to go with an open mind and try to make the best of your situation, the current situation at hand, and see how best you can turn it. If you maybe go with a high expectation and it's not up to what you expected, then see how best you can turn that situation in a way that it can work for you. Okay, but just go with an open mind. That way, when you do go, you don't have any expectation or any high expectation, so it will be easier for you to go with the flow and excel at what you do. So the next don't I will touch on is don't leave your job. Okay, so you have a contract, right? So prior to leaving your home country and getting to the United States, you your employer, they will let you know of the time frame that you will be working there. So for most it's April to October, the ending of October, the starting of April to the ending of October, and that would be like 6 months, right? So you are required to work for that employer for that specific period of time, unless you go and you may want to transfer to a different employer. Then that person would have to petition for you for that transfer, and then you would have to work for them for that period stated in their contract. Okay, so unless you have unforeseen circumstances or any emergency that would cause you to return home, do not leave your job. Don't leave your job to go and work for someone else unless it is a transfer and the required documents are presented to you and you sign a contract. So the next one I will touch on is do not get fired or terminated. All right, so a lot of persons might think that, okay, I am in the US now, so I can just do anything I want and my employer will not send me home or terminate my contract, or you don't care. So guys, ensure that you do not get fired or don't do anything that will cause you to get fired. Okay, because your employer have the right to send you home or terminate you and send you home if they find reason to do so. So if they state that you should not be drinking or smoking or vaping on the property, adhere to that rule. If they state you should not be doing this in the apartment as well, adhere to that rule. Do not take drugs, adhere to that rule. In all, don't do anything that will jeopardize your opportunity and also jeopardize your future. Because if you are terminated by an employer, don't feel that, okay, I can just go and go to a different employer. It's not so easy. They have to complete certain steps. So you have to be transferred, as I mentioned previously. And bear in mind that when your employer terminates you, they have to report this information to USCIS and state that, and then if you are terminated, first thing, you will be out of status because you will be reported to USCIS and you will be out of status, and the only thing that's left for you to do is to return home. Okay, so you don't want that. And if you are even thinking about getting an employer to or transferring to a different employer, that employer has to file the documents as well, and it has to be good enough reason. So if you are terminated, no employers will want to take someone who has been fired from their job, right? And I don't think the government will approve you transferring to a different employer if you were fired, and also the reason why you were fired. Okay, another point is don't be disrespectful to your co-workers, to your managers, to the customers, anyone at all. Always ensure that you are showing respect. Even if someone disrespects you, ensure that you handle the situation respectfully. Take the necessary chain of command, have it reported to your supervisor or whatever the case may be. And another thing, the last thing I would say is do not watch your co-workers' pay. Okay, so your pay is confidential and only you should know what amount you are getting paid. Okay, so you should not be discussing your pay with your co-workers or anyone for that matter. Okay, that information is private to you and only you. So no one should be saying, oh, you are getting this amount and they are getting that amount. right? And also, you should not be watching anyone's pay to say, okay, why are you getting so many hours, or how did you get this for the 2 weeks or for the week and I am only getting this. So that information is for you and you alone. So ensure that you are not sharing this information to anyone else or with anyone else. It is confidential and that information is privy to only you. So guys, I really hope you guys are following this information or following the guide so that you are in the right at all times. And if you are being mistreated by an employer, then there is a way you can have it reported. Okay, so when you get back your H-2B visa, right, blue book will be stapled to your passport which says know your H-2B rights. Okay, so I'm gonna try to see if I can put the picture here. So that book, you should read that book and you should get familiar with all the information that is in that book. Okay, it tells you about your right, and if you are being mistreated, there is an H-2B hotline or there's a number that you can call and have this reported. Also, if there's something you're not sure on, you can call and have it for reference. So you can always call if you're not sure about something or you want information on something. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching the video, and remember to like, share this video as well so other persons can be informed. And also, if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? All right, so hit that subscribe button, leave your comment down below as well, and let me know what other video you would want to see. Okay, thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day.